boys and girls. This is John McCormick, the mayor of Woodbridge, and I'm here to read to you again my favorite thing to do as mayor. This book is called Tacky the Penguin, written by Helen Lester, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger, and it is in the summer reading program. There once lived a penguin. His home was a nice, icy land he shared with his companions. His companions were named Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect. His name was Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird. He has an odd name. Every day, Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect greeted each other quietly and politely. Tacky greeted them with a heavy slap on the back and a loud, "What's happening?" Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect always marched 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tacky always marched 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 0, 2.5, and 0. His companions were graceful divers. Tacky liked to splash cannonballs. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect always sang pretty songs like Sunrise on the Iceberg. Tacky always sang songs like How Many Toes Does a Fish Have? Tacky was an odd bird. One day the penguins heard thump, thump, thump of feet in the distance. This could mean only one thing. Hunters had come. They came with maps and traps and rocks and locks, and they were rough and tough. As the thump, thump, thump drew closer, the penguins could hear the growly voices chanting, "We're going to catch some pretty penguins and we'll march them with a switch. And we'll sell them all for $1 and you get rich, rich, rich." Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect ran away in fright. They hid behind a big block of ice. Tacky stood alone. The hunters marched right up to him chanting, "We're going to catch some pretty penguins and we'll march them with a switch and we'll sell them for $1 and get rich, rich, rich." "What's happening?" blared Tacky, giving the hunter an especially hearty slap on the back. They growled, "We're hunting for penguins. That's what's happening." "Penguins," said Tacky. "Do you mean those birds that marched neatly in a row?" And he marched 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2, and 3, 6, 0, and 2.5, 0. The hunters looked puzzled. "Do you mean those birds that dive so gracefully?" Tacky asked. And then he did a splashy cannonball. The hunters got all wet. "Do you mean those birds that sing such pretty songs?" Tacky began to sing, and from behind the block of ice came the voices of his companions, all singing loudly and dreadfully as they could. "How many toes does a fish have? And how many wings on a cow? I wonder, yep, I wonder." The hunters could not stand the horrifying singing. This could not be the land of the pretty penguins. They ran away with their hands clasped tightly over their ears, leaving behind their maps and traps and rocks and locks, and not looking at all rough and tough. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect hugged Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a very nice bird to have around. So Tacky, even though he was odd, he saved the day because he knew what to do. He made the hunters think that they weren't penguins at all. They were not good birds to have at all. So they ran away, and Tacky saved the day. Now we have one more book. This one is called A Day with No Crayons. It's by Elizabeth Rush, illustrated by Chad Cameron. A Day with No Crayons. Liza loved her crayon. She treasured turquoise, adored apricot, and flipped over fuchsia. In fact, coloring made Liza feel tickle-me pink. Every day, Liza filled her coloring books with aquamarine oceans, royal purple plums, and screaming green dragons. She papered the walls of her room, the hallway, and the bathroom with the bright, neat pages. Then one day, Liza ran out of paper. Her coloring books were all full, and there wasn't a single sheet of blank paper left. Liza paced her room, unsure of what to do, until she discovered right in front of her one blank wall. "What on earth are you doing?" her mother cried. "Coloring," said Liza. "Coloring your walls?" her mother exclaimed. She snatched up Liza's crayon bucket. "No more crayons for you today." "No crayons?" Liza cried. "A whole day with no crayons?" Liza shuffled to the bathroom feeling blue. Midnight blue, in fact. A day with no crayons, she grumbled. She gripped the toothpaste crossly, squirting a blue-green streak across the sink. Now look at the mess I've made, she mumbled, smearing it toward the drain. Later, Liza trudged to the park and smacked her foot in the puddle. A day with no crayons is as brown as mud, she mourned, stomping around the basketball court. Finally, Liza slumped to the ground and brushed her grass-stained knees. The green wouldn't come off. Liza leaned forward for a closer look. She thought. That's spring green and jungle green mixed. Liza rolled over and found herself eye to eye with a lovely flower. Why, that color's not bluebell at all, she said. It's more like cornflower. Liza yanked a nearby dandelion and crushed it in her fist. When she opened her palm, it glowed. And this isn't just dandelion yellow, she laughed. It's more like laser lemon. Liza jumped up. It's even lovelier than laser lemon. Liza mashed dazzling yellow dandelions onto her cuffs. Then she squashed deep purple blackberries into her pockets and rubbed brilliant orange tiger lilies down both legs. Running through the park in her rainbow pants, Liza suddenly saw color everywhere. She dragged a muddy stick across the park, sketching a chocolate brown tree trunk with long, stretching branches. She pressed leaves of meadow green, sea green, and forest green in the mud and squished them onto her tree until it shimmered. She gathered flower petals and fashioned birds that flew with her across the park. As Liza left the park, she scraped an old red brick along the sidewalk, drawing a desert, some camels, then a whole caravan. Near her house, Liza gathered gray-blue pebbles and laid them side by side until an ocean swelled. Up on the front porch steps, Liza scattered dandelions and rhododendron petals until a sunset glowed. That night, Liza crawled in bed, arranging the pillows around her. Outrageous orchid, she thought. Magic maze. Wondermelon. Her mother walked into the room, holding Liza's crayons. You can have your crayons back, the mother said, kissing her on the head, if you promise not to color on the walls. Liza eyed the crayons her mother held out at her. She smoothed the blankets on her bed and considered the coloring books spread out on the floor around her. She said, I think I can go through one more day without crayons. So what started out as punishment for her turned out to be pretty good because she made do with what she had, which is no crayons, but she had all of nature and all petals and flowers and rocks and all kinds of things. And she made really fun colors and had a good day and then realized she doesn't miss her crayons after all. So that is a day with no crayons. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you read all summer. I hope you keep challenging yourself. Reading is very, very important. Keep doing it. And the best part about when school's over is that you can read any book you want. If you like horses or animals or cars or trains or dolls or mysteries or sports books or anything, you name it, you can read whatever you want. So I hope you all have a good summer, boys and girls. See you in September.